Good morning and welcome to the American Council of Engineering Companies, or ACEC, 2020 Roads and Streets Virtual Conference. You're in the session titled Investment Decision Making through the Arizona Highway Safety Improvement Program. We have two speakers today, and I get the privilege of not only working with them almost every day, but also getting to introduce them today. Our first speaker will be Mona Eglin-Swick. She has over 15 years of transportation engineering experience with the Arizona Department of Transportation. She's currently the Safety Programs Manager in the Transportation Safety Section, which is under the TSM&O, or Transportation System Management and Operations. Mona began her career in ADOT as an engineer in training. She moved to the position of transportation engineer in the traffic group. Then she worked in the utility and railroad engineering section for a little while. She has assisted transportation agency in obtaining HSIP eligibility approval with more than 400 million in safety funds. And I think that was as of last year. I don't think that includes this year. Mona has the bachelor's degree of science in civil engineering from Faculty of Engineering, Alexandria University in Egypt. Mona is a professional engineer and registered in Arizona. Our second speaker also works in the Highway Safety Improvement Program, Mr. Larry Talley. He is the HSIP coordinator in the traffic section, again under TSM&O. He has over 18 years experience working with crash data before joining the traffic safety section. He's a retired U.S. Army Corps of Engineer officer. Larry served 24 years in the Corps of Engineers in position of Deputy District Engineer, Public Works Director, Army Liaison Officer to the U.S. Congress, and in numerous other leadership positions. Larry worked for 7 years with the city of Mesa, which is where I first met him. He was a traffic safety analyst there. Larry was selected to be the State Traffic Coordinating Committee coordinator back in 2007. He was the program manager for the Arizona TRACS application. Larry has a bachelor's of science in industrial engineering and education and a graduate level studies in system analyst and public administration. So let's please welcome Mona and Larry. And with that, I'm going to turn the screens over to Mona, and you may begin your presentation.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I will be presenting to you with Larry on investment decision making through the Arizona HSIB. And today our agenda, we will go over crash history in Arizona, and we will talk about the relation between the state traffic safety plan and the Arizona HSIB. We will talk about the component of the HSIB program from planning, implementation, evaluation, and reporting. We have some historical updates on the funding, and Larry will be talking about project cost estimates, and he will give you an update on the HSIB application and on the next call for projects. So did you know that in 2019, the total number of crashes we had in Arizona, 130,024. Fatal crashes in Arizona was 911. That resulted on 982 deaths, and the suspected serious injury crashes, 2,918. That resulted on 3,585 serious injuries. A person seriously injured in a suspected serious injury crashes. So what can be done to reduce these numbers? The Highway Safety Improvement Program, or the HSIB, is a federal aid program that helps reduce traffic fatalities and serious injuries on all public roads. The Arizona HSIB provides more than $40 million each year for the implementation of highway safety improvement projects. It's a very valuable resource to support your agency's safety management. The HSIP is legislated under Section 148 of Title 23, United States Code, and it's regulated under Part 924 of Title 23 Code of Federal Regulations. Each state or each DOT has to have a strategic highway safety plan or a strategic transportation safety plan. Arizona consulted last year with wide range of stakeholders during the time that we were updating the STSB, and we had a wide range of stakeholders that represented the 4 E's of roadway engineering, education, enforcement, and emergency medical services. It's a requirement to update the strategic transportation safety plan or strategic traffic safety plan on a regular basis, and that's a requirement to obtain the HSIP funds. Arizona, like I said, updated the strategic traffic safety plan last year, and the vision is towards 0 deaths by reducing crashes for safer Arizona. The goal is to reduce traffic fatalities on Arizona's roadways. So now I'm going to talk about the HSIP components or steps. The HSIP planning is our first step, and the planning stage identifies problems, develops countermeasures, and prioritize projects for implementation. The planning stage results in a list of projects that meet HSIP requirements. This project list incorporates what is known as the State Transportation Improvement Program. So when we identify the projects, we will program them in the STIP and in the TIP. So we have several resources in our office that assist us with the planning stage in the HSIP. We do network screening, statewide network screening to identify locations with problems. And we use the strategic traffic safety plan and the local safety strategic transportation safety plans. We have a P2P process. There is areas in ADOT that does studies. Our road safety assessment program, and also MAG has the road safety assessment program, and PAC has the road safety assessment program that assist them and I help them to identify locations in need of safety improvements and identify countermeasures. We do the annual call for projects, and we receive requests from districts, local agencies for projects to be considered for HSIP funds. Projects we received are spot improvement or systemic type of projects. And like I said, we program the priority list and the approved list in the State Transportation Improvement Program. And if it's a local project, it will be programmed, also programmed in the Local Transportation Improvement Program. Our second stage is implementation. This is basically safety improvement project that we will it will be implemented. So the priority list that we identified in the previous stage, we will be implementing, and the implementation basically is designing the projects and take the project through the development process and obtain all the required clearances, and also construction of the project and complete it with all using all the available resources that we have. The third stage of the HSIP program is evaluation. So basically, evaluation is to examine the effectiveness of the completed highway safety improvement project the evaluation results gives us data that we use it in the future to make decisions on the HSIB program during the planning stage. So we have to do before and after. It's a requirement by the HSIB program. We have done some before and after on HSIB projects using hiring an on-call consultant. We have done before and after evaluation using an in-house staff. We start recently evaluating the road safety assessment program, and we are keeping count of just a second, my screen is not moving. Okay, here we go. The evaluation stage, we started evaluating road safety assessment projects that we've done. The goal is to conduct 50 RSAs every year, and we are tracking that now. And we are also tracking how many countermeasures that we implemented on the RSAs that we've conducted, and we will be doing before and after looking at the crash history. The fourth stage of the HSIB program is reporting. So ADA prepare an annual report on the progress in implementing highway safety improvement projects and the effectiveness of those projects. ADAT and all other states were using an HSIB online reporting tool to satisfy the HSIB reporting requirement as required by Title 23. The HSIB reports due August 31st each year. And in that report, we include the list of HSIB projects that we implemented. We include effectiveness and before and after studies that we've done. And like I said, it's an annual report and it's due to Federal Highway by the end of August every year. Now, I have some historic data about the currently programmed HSIB projects for the fiscal year 21, 23, 24, and 24, and 23 and 24. Like I said in my first slide, ADOT provides 40 million HSIB funds every year. What I'm showing you on the screen is the HSIB apportionment, which is a little higher than the obligation authority. And we have been spending, and we were able to program the majority of the fund. We did set aside 10% of the HSIB funds for emergency. And if you are looking at the screen now, you can tell that there is, we are over the budget in fiscal year 21. And you can see that if you see the number for fiscal year 23, it's less than 40 million. It's because there was some HSIB project that we are in need to advance to earlier year for example, year 21 or 22. That's why the number currently shows less than what we have available. So we needed to move some of the projects to an earlier year. We wanted to show you the fatal and serious injury crashes by federal highway focus areas. So Arizona is a focused area in number of fatalities in 3 federal highway focus areas: in run of the road, in intersections, and pedestrian and bike crashes. So we basically looked at the most recent 5 years and December 31st, 2019 number fatal crashes and serious injury crashes. And we looked at the programmed fiscal year 21 through 24 and compared where is the HSIB funds are programmed. And you can see on the screen that we have the majority of the crashes on an intersection type of crashes and run of the roads. And we have programmed more projects with countermeasures related to the run of the road type of crashes. On my next slide, we also wanted to show you the number of KNA, or fatal and serious injury crashes, by state highway system versus the local, and how much projects that we have programmed in the fiscal year 21 through 24. In the past, in the previous year, we used to spend 20% of the HSIB funds on local roads and 80% of the HSIB funds on state highway system. And you can see from the colored graph in front of you that we are spending more now of the HSIB funds to where the need of the number of fatalities and serious injuries. The next slide, it's colorful, and that is because I am basically showing you the number of fatal crashes and serious injuries by the Metropolitan Planning Organization and the Regional Council of Government. We have a total of 12. On your left, the total number of KNA, and on the right is the total amount of HSIB funds programmed in the year 23 through 24. We also wanted to show the breakout of the funds and the KNA by the districts. We have 7 districts, and looking at the KNA, you can see that the Central District has a higher number of fatal and serious injury crashes. But if you look at the project distribution of the funds, you'll notice that they have received less amount of HSIB funds programmed in 21 to 24. And I wondered myself that a couple of days ago, but then I ended up looking at the network screening plan or study that we have, and there has been lots of projects identified on the top 5 of the list in the Central District, and we are currently preparing to conduct a road safety assessment on the identified locations, and that road safety assessment may result on HSIB projects, and that could add more funds to from HSIB to the Central District. So my next slide is, I'm going to turn it to Larry Talley. Larry will be talking to you about the planning level cost estimate, and it's a very important component of the planning stage of the HSIB program. Go ahead, Larry.
Good morning, all. Can you hear me, Mona?
Yes, I can hear you. I
can hear you. Good.
Yes, Larry.
All right, fine, thank you. I had a little technical difficulties this morning, and not able to get the live feed up for the video. So what I'm going to talk to you about is a new document that we have up on our website that is the HSIP construction pricing examples. And in this document, we have gone back and taken a look at projects that have been completed. And in the manual, we have broken into 3 sections: intersections, roadways, and non-motorized. In the intersection improvements, we have 10 examples of projects that have been completed. Those include lighting, turn lanes, roundabouts, and other types of intersection-related projects. In the roadway segments, we have 8 examples, including lighting, rumble strip, raised medians, and shoulders. In the non-motorized section, we have 7 examples that includes hawks, multi-use paths, and sidewalks. What you will find when you go into the manual and look at one of the projects is shown on this slide. In the beginning, you'll see a description of the project. That description is as the project was advertised. The next item that you will see is the bids that were received. And those are, in this particular case, we had 3 bidders, and you can see what the low bid was up to the high bid. Also shown in that section is the bid award date. So you'll get a feel for how long ago those bids were submitted. Then you're going to see the design and indirect design costs for this particular project. Then the total project cost and the completion date. So you'll get a feel for how long ago, again, this work was done and how relevant it is to the project that you may be putting together to be submitted. Finally, you'll see a picture and an extract from the drawings that gives you a feel for the exact feel for the project. Also in the manual is the E2C2 website link, which is the ADOT estimated engineering cost. And if you're aware with the E2C2 documents, you will see that is a line item breakout of costs. So if you have a project that you are anticipating submitting, you look in here, let's say a roundabout, high speed, and your estimate is way out of line with what is shown in this document, you can go into the E2C2 and compare your line items with the bid line items and see if you may have missed something or if an adjustment needs to be made. We will be continuing to add to this as we have time to give more examples so that we can ensure that the agencies do the best job they can in getting us a good cost estimate in their application. Next slide, Mona, please. Okay, we have done some before and after studies to see if we are being successful with our countermeasures. The intent of this slide is there are 24 projects shown here. The ones that are in green, that 16, we have seen a reduction in K and A's and total projects, or total crashes in the before and the afters. That leaves us 16 projects in the green and 8 projects in the red. Some of the projects in the red, you will notice that the crash reduction total has been reduced, but we may not have had a serious injury crash where in the after study we had a serious injury, which unfortunately is our goal is to reduce our K and A's. On this slide, if you look at the totals, you'll see a 63% reduction in Ks, a 70% reduction in suspected serious injuries, and overall total crashes, it's a 63.7% reduction. So based on these 24 projects, we are having success in our program. Next slide, please. Okay, here is an example of a HSIP project that we are proud of. It's on US 93, milepost 185.3 to milepost 191. In this 6-mile example of shoulder widening and rumble strips, you can see that we had before crashes that the project was based on, we had 7 fatalities and 1 serious injury with a total run off the road crashes of 28. After this section was completed and during the time frame of August of 16 through December of 19, we had no fatalities, no serious injuries, and 9 run off the road crashes for a 67.8% reduction in total crashes. We had an original BC of 2.29, estimated construction cost of 14.5 mil, with a final cost, construction cost of 23 mil. Next slide, please, ma'am.
Can I add something here? And for this slide,
sure.
The cost estimate, this project is a shoulder widening, and that is funded with HSIB funds. And the other source of fund is to do a pavement breadth, and that is federal funds. So that 23 million, that's include the HSIB funds and the other source of funds for the pavement breadth.
Thank you. Okay, what's new? In our application for, it'll be the 25-26 program, I'm having to think about that one. We have revised the application to include the 2019 emphasis area, our 2019 STSP emphasis areas and emphasis areas strategies. So that you will see is new in the application. There have also been a couple of changes in the cover letter that you will also see. While we're talking about the application, we want to emphasize question 31. Question 31 reads, are the supporting structures in good condition, meet local standards, and have an anticipated service life longer than the countermeasure being installed? Yes or no? The reason we're emphasizing this question is we're running into a series of projects that have been submitted in the 21 through 24 program that are calling, or the countermeasure is the installation of centerline or edge line rumble strips. Agencies now, they're getting ready to request their design funds, are finding out that the shoulders cannot accept the rumble strips, or the condition of the roadway, if they ground in the rumble strips, would destroy basically the roadway. And so they're having to reduce scope to those roadway segments that can't accept the rumble strips. Agencies are admitting that they did not go out and take a good look at those roadway segments before they submitted the applications. And so now we're having to scramble to try to accommodate the failure to examine that supporting structure prior to submitting the application. The other item that will be up on our website here very shortly is our checklist that we are going to use when the applications come in next year. You're more than welcome to take a look at it and compare your application and go through the checklist to make sure that your application is going to meet all the requirements that we're going to be looking for. Next slide, please. Okay, next call for projects for FY 25-26 will be, the next call for projects will be July the 1st of next year. The applications will be due November 1st. The HSIP committee approval will be sometime in April of 22. ADOT management approval will also follow the committee approval in April of 22. And we will get out our eligibility letters back out to the agencies by July of 2022. Okay, Mona.
Yep, I'm here. I like to add something about the next call for projects, that this is a tentative schedule, that we have not approved it yet by management. If you can notice in the schedule, we allowed time for agencies, local agencies, district to prepare their application. And we're allowing time for ADOT, our team, to review the applications that we receive. Also we are allowing time for the committee and the management for approval. So we took all that into consideration. We consulted with the ADOT programming and planning group, and we consulted with ADOT finance on those dates. Like I said, it's currently a tentative schedule, and we are not posting it yet online until we receive final approval from management. And with that, this is what we have for today, and we are ready if you have any questions for us.
Excellent presentation, Mona and Larry, very informative. Be sure to get your questions in the chat box, and those questions will make it to us, and Larry or Mona can answer them. Also on the screen are their emails. If you don't think of any right now, but you have one later, you can always email them or give them a call. Somebody out there's got to have a question of some type. I wish I had an interesting story to tell or something. Mona, can we go back to that slide on that before and after project? I think you said it was on 93. That was some pretty amazing results.
This one? Okay, let me go back. This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is yeah, this is Larry, the milepost, is that correct? Just
yes.
Glasses on. Okay.
I actually learned a new trick on az511.gov. You can go to the map. I did not realize there is actually a toggle and you can turn the mileposts on. Just discovered that the other day, and it's very handy.
Jeff, what's that?
Oh, on AZ511, you can actually turn on and off the mileposts. I did not realize that.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so this location is between, if you're familiar when you're going out of Wickenburg, headed to Las Vegas, milepost 180, about 184 is at that 7193 junction, where you kind of go up and over the 71. So it's north of Wickenburg. Let's see here. Looks like it's about milepost 195 is just before the junction of the road going to Yarnell Hill, going up to Congress. So that's a busy piece of road, and that's some pretty amazing statistics for your after. That's great.
Larry, is this the project that we've done additional lanes on?
I honestly don't know. I pulled it off of out of those 24, and I didn't go back in. But that's not divided up through there.
Okay.
All right, we still got a little bit of time left. There's time to throw in some questions. See if we can find any fun facts on.
So I'm going to go to that slide that we have the before and after. And I said in my presentation that in the HSIP annual report, there is a template that Federal Highway provided us to assist each state of doing before and after. And that is the template that we want to start using. It's a little bit different than the table in front of us now, because we have been using this one for a couple of years now, but we would like to switch to the Federal Highway templates because that will make it more efficient when we submit the HSIP annual report.
It looks like we do have a question coming in on the chat pod. Was there a crash cost update? The person asking the question had lost their sound for a moment, so
okay.
I know I believe Larry, you can probably answer that one.
So Larry, you want to go first?
Well, I was just going to ask, are we going to update it? I mean, it's not difficult.
Yeah, so I'll go first. We wanted to update the crash costs when we updated the HSIP application, but we wanted to update the HSIP manual at the same time in the appendixes, but we haven't updated the manual yet. And we're still using the same crash cost that we have from last year, and it's the same numbers that we have in the 2019 published crash facts. If we change it next year, it will have to be changed before sometimes in May or sometimes in April or May before our staff reports the 2019 crash facts, which gets published sometime in June. So we will take that into consideration when we update our HSIP manual for next year.
Okay, and then we have one other question, and I think this is probably in reference to the project where you did the before and after on US 93 there north of Wickenburg. The question is, was the width of the shoulder widening? Or what was the width of the shoulder widening? So was the shoulder widening? How much was it, if you know?
Oh, let me go back.
It's not on the slide.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this project because the one that I remember on US 93 was in a different milepost. So I do remember that the shoulder width was some locations were 1 foot or there was no shoulder at all. But I can tell you that if we fund HSIB funds for shoulder widening, we widen to 5.
And I think there was a series of projects on 93, and I know recently you and I had talked about a different one. This one I think was one of the predecessor projects, but
yeah, we had several projects on the US 93. We had big project start on milepost 17 and ends on milepost 58, and that project was divided to 4 smaller projects.
Hey, Mona, back up to the manual, the examples. I think I used that slide may have been of this project.
Okay. Okay.
And in the description, it may have on there.
On the this one here.
The cost manual. Yeah.
This one. Okay.
Can you read in the scope of work?
It's a different milepost. This
Yeah.
here you're looking at 93 from that's up by Kingman.
That's a different.
Yeah. Okay.
But maybe as yeah, it doesn't look like it gives how much
No,
the shoulder was widened. We've got looks like about 3 minutes left or so, so there's still time for a couple more questions.
So if I would have answered the question for the unit cost of the crash unit cost, there's no update as of today.
Wasn't there a change in the cost used in calculating your BC ratios tied to that increase the value, or not value, the cost of a fatality? Wasn't that like in 2017-ish?
We did that last year, right, Larry? The application from last year had the updated cost.
2.5, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one we used for a project programmed for fiscal year 23 and 24.
Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions in the chat pod. I personally want to thank both Mona and Larry for their time and their awesome presentation. You guys do great all the time. It's good working with you. And to all you guys listening, I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference and find more value in additional breakouts. With that, I appreciate your participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, everybody who pulled this conference together. Great job.
Yeah. If you want to, Mona, go to your last slide so they can see your email and information, just in case.
There you go.
Thank you.